Welcome back to Sports Dribble, powered by Sports Rewind Digital. I'm joined by BJ and Davo. Fellas, how are we?
Good mate, good mate. And Wednesday night, so a bit later this week. Just means the weekend's coming sooner.
That's it. Day later. Bit of cricket training tonight, Davo.
Yes, training the girls and the ladies. So got in trouble for throwing one in too hard. Apparently, injured one of the girls there, so it was just lobbed back in. But well, it is what it is.
Careful saying that sort of stuff, Dave, around the women, throwing one in too hard and hurting someone. That's not on.
Yeah,
Terrible. About you, Randall?
Training the bicep tonight, mate. That's it. Sit on the lounge watching the first day of the summer of cricket, drinking 1,000 dirty waters.
Beautiful.
and the old Benello Masters tinny holder night for old Bobby.
Beautiful.
Bobby's day there for a top bloke, Nino. So,
Good stuff.
I'm not old enough for that one, sorry.
Come on,
They changed the rules on that one.
what is it? Over 40s now, is it?
40s. Yeah.
You're almost there, aren't you?
Almost, but not.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's all right, fellas. Well, yeah, I had a busy weekend on the Gold Coast this weekend, chasing the kids around. National championships for cheerleading and dance. My girls did quite well. Second and third in cheerleading, and fourths and fifths with a few other dancers. And yeah, then we had a little bit of a result on the Monday at the Pinnacle, which is like the top four teams that go through to Pinnacle bid. And we had a first place, and we also had a fourth place due to a error in, what do we call it? Legality. So
Legality.
they've been
Wow.
doing the same thing routine all year, and they got a legality on the Pinnacle. So they
Wow.
finished fourth. So there was lots of people blowing up. I had no idea what was going on. Go girls, you did well.
Back to the cocktail bar.
Thought they did well. Back to the pool, mate. Back to the pool.
So what does that first place give them, mate?
Mate, that's it for the year now. So that was nationals, and then the Pinnacles, like, they had to, if they scored over 95, they're in the running to go to this Pinnacle, and yeah, they qualified early on in the year for that. So yeah, they did that, and so now their season's over, and get ready for next year. And it's not over though. There's Christmas shows, and you know what else? They were training again tonight. So
Yeah, well done. You just won the nationals, so now you can go back to training.
back to training.
Perfect.
Yes. All right, fellas, let's jump into our tidbits. Who wants to lead off?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Right.
Since the cricket started today, nice little tidbit I heard from Triple M calling the cricket. Marnus Lamashane has the most lives ever while playing cricket. He's had the most drop catches while he's been batting in the history of cricket, apparently. So I thought, oh, geez, that's a nice little stat for him. And he hasn't been around for a whole long time, so he must be offering plenty of chances to people. But yeah, they said he's had the most lives while batting in the history of cricket. Well, while ever they've been doing the stats and all that. So there's an interesting tidbit.
He must put a bit of
Yeah,
extra
right.
spin on these edges or something. I don't know.
Bit
That
extra
sticky
basso.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think he got dropped today too, didn't he?
Yeah. I think he was given at least one more life today.
Yeah, I think he was over 100 though. I think by that stage.
Yeah. So that just adds to the tally. I don't know who's second, but it's one of those crazy little snippets they bring up while sort of in between balls there and all that. So I thought, oh, shit, I've got to remember that. So yeah, there we go.
That's a
I
good
guarantee
one.
it wouldn't be Don Bradman. He never hit the ball in the air. That bloke.
Well, interesting thing on him. I think he only hit 4 sixes in his whole career because his theory was if I don't hit the ball in the air, they can't catch me out.
That's it.
So
Yeah,
I've asked that.
Right.
I've asked that at trivia before. I think like how many sixes did Don Bradman hit in his career? Like 4, 14, or 40, and not many people know. It was only 4.
How about you, Davo? Any fours and sixes on the weekend, mate?
2 fours, 2 fours, and then as usual, lack of foot movement. Us baseballers, we're used to stepping forward, but these cricketers, they step towards the ball, which I didn't do. So another inside edge onto the stumps. So
Overrated, mate.
yeah, finding out that's the weak spot just outside off stump that I'm not getting the foot across. So only 9, but a wicket and 2 catches. So I can catch a ball without a mitt.
Nice.
One of those high ones that you're sitting under going, just don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it, don't drop it. Oh, actually caught it. So yeah, that's good to get that monkey off the back.
So what
So
do you
I've got
bowl,
one.
mate? Do you bowl spin or do you bowl pace?
Just bowling off spin.
Off spin?
Yeah, just occupy an end, try and sort of keep them from scoring. But the worst part is I'm just bowling too many full tosses. It's like, oh, that's right, you've got to make the ball bounce in this game. So team got a win though.
I think it only spins when it does bounce, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Throwing curveballs all day. Curveballs.
Indoor.
It is. It's
Yeah.
just like throwing a curveball. It's just throwing that finger over.
Oh, gold. What do you got
So-
for us, Randall?
I've got a couple there, mate. But one thing that popped up, I know we talked about it earlier on in the week. The Chicago White Sox played the Angels in the 2005 ACLS, or even ALCS. I have had some dirty waters, to tell you. They won the series in 5 games. In the series, they threw 4 complete games, and they used their bullpens for just 2 outs for the entire series. I don't know who their starters were, but I tell you what, they must have been dealing.
It would have been
Don't know.
Burley. Burley would have
Looks
been
like
one
Burley,
of them.
yep.
So what year was it?
2005 ALCS.
2005.
Can't, Randall, if you're going to bring in tidbits like this, mate, you got to research
Was
a little
Jack
bit.
McDowell still there? No,
I
he
wasn't
would have
worried about who
he
they
would have
were.
been. He would have been done by then. But yeah, that's quite a feat. That's some workhorses.
Absolutely. There's 2 outs for 5 games.
For 5 games. It's pretty red hot.
That's resting your bullpen for the World Series.
Yeah,
No,
it
that's
is.
just Jay Hudson throwing every week for 12 innings.
Nah, not anymore, mate. Those days are over. Those
Yeah.
days are over. You got any others, Randall?
Yeah, mate, I have. Looking at NFL. Actually, we'll go to college football even. Alabama, worst season in 15 years, 9-2. Pretty tough crowd when that's your worst season in 15 years.
Terrible, isn't it?
But it's also Tennessee's best season in 15 years, and they're also 9-2. So there's a real difference between some of those teams, I suppose, when they're constantly achieving, and some of them that really struggle. But one more, while I can still talk. 4 teams in NFL history have led by more than 1 possession in each of their first 11 games. 1942, Cincinnati, and they were 11-0. 2009, New Orleans Saints, and they were 11-0. 2011, Green Bay Packers did it. They ended up 11-0. 2022, Baltimore Ravens, 7-4. They have got nothing. They've blown it again this week too.
Blown it again. I didn't watch the game. I heard I was listening to a little podcast on my way back home from Queensland, and I heard it was a double-digit score that they blew again, Randall.
Oh, mate.
Every loss they've had this year has been
Fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Oh, mate. I
Don't
don't know what they're
close them
doing.
out.
And no, they can't. They can't. And I don't know what's going on with them. I think it was against the Jaguars too. Like they're not coming first.
Yeah.
They're not coming second. They're not even coming third. Like you know, they're not achieving high standards in their division.
No,
And yeah, we'll get into that later.
but you know what? They play well for that first half,
Oh,
even first three.
first three quarters, and then I don't know what they do. Oh, yeah, we're done.
Back it up.
Back it up. We're good.
Think that they must think they're playing ice hockey.
Possibly, mate. Possibly.
While we're still on NFL, I've got one for you. It's week 12, and Carson Wentz still has more passing touchdowns. That's 10 than Russell Wilson's 7. Carson Wentz hasn't played football since week 6. Pretty impressive,
That's
isn't
ridiculous.
it? Yeah. Another one that popped up on Instagram was can't wait to watch Jack Brady and Arch Manning face off for the next 15 years, and then watch both randomly lose to Marshall Manning in their biggest games. Absolute classic. I can't wait to actually see that play out. I reckon there's a big chance of it.
I think whoever put that up, I reckon they're on the money.
Yeah, I think so too. Another quick one. The Formula One, the Ferrari team principal, Benotti, gone at the end of this year. So clearly they didn't do well the last couple of years, and he's gone. I haven't been following it as much this year, but yeah, he mustn't be doing good things because he's got the flick. Now, fellas, I'm going to try to share my screen here. I don't know how good the video is, but Boss Monteroa, mate, went and watched him play while I was up there in Brisbane. And anyway, I'm just going to share this video with you, fellas. 1 second. I'll work out how to do this in a second. How did I do it before? Here it is.
Probably press the play.
Yeah. Now, this is early on in the game. Rounds first. Is he going to go? Nah. Yes, I'm going to go.
Oh.
So Willie Mays Hayes. Yep, come on, keep coming.
Yeah, boss man. I don't know what that slide was. Doing the worm. I don't know. Was
Scorpion.
it a bet? Did you win the bet? What happened, mate?
Sniper.
I know those 4 blokes up in the top left-hand corner there. The old bandits. What were they? The Outlaws. They give you hell for the rest of the weekend. And, mate, I didn't get it on video, but you did tip your cap, and they did appreciate the tipping of the cap. That's for sure. It was a quality slide. But yeah, it wasn't real flash for the Canberra Cavalry this weekend up there in Brisbane.
I reckon he was just trying to show how flexible he was and showing that he could actually touch the back of his head with his feet.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, I was playing around with the camera at that stage, and clearly I didn't have it focused properly, and I'm spewing because that was the best thing that happened in that game. It was unreal.
Yeah, I think I had a 9-0 loss, didn't I? So it probably was the best thing that happened.
You want to jump straight in the ABL while we're talking about it?
I was going to have one last tidbit, like you say, about sliding. One I had before. Good old Ricky Henderson. He had 21 seasons of 30-plus stolen bases. No other player in MLB history has had 21 seasons with even 10 stolen bases. So it shows you what a freak he was on base. Like seeing Boss run there, that just reminded me of this one. But yeah, 21 seasons with 30-plus stolen bases.
Unreal,
you'd lead the league now with 30 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And here's a guy who constantly stole 100 in a season.
Yeah.
He was brutal, wasn't
legend.
He? Yeah. He'd get on base and everybody knew he was going first pitch. And guess what? They still couldn't get him.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see that again. Another sort of lost art in baseball these days, isn't it?
I don't think we ever will see anything like that ever.
You never know. Like I suppose, that's the idea of getting these bigger bases and only being able to pick off twice and all this sort of bull stuff. Like obviously they want to get that happening again, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know I don't think we'll ever see that again, will we?
No, they'll get a hit, wait for a walk, and then a 3-run home run.
Yeah.
That's the way the game's going. It's sort of
Yeah.
like you're not manufacturing runs anymore. Get a guy on base, wait for the home run, which is such a shame. It's nothing better than seeing someone go, like knowing they're going to go and just see him go. And Ricky, second, third, home, didn't matter. He would just take it.
Yeah.
It was always awesome to watch. You knew he's on base. You knew he was going to go. Didn't know what pitch it was going to be, but he was always going to go.
Yep.
And yeah, just a freak.
And those green Mizuno batting gloves he used to have, I think it was the early 90s or 18, 19 at the time, and they were it. They were the gloves you wanted to have because they were the Ricky Henderson sort of the green Mizuno batting gloves.
Yeah.
Sort of like, yeah.
They had a bit of padding on the back
Yep.
too, didn't they? And
Yep.
I remember him. Ran away before your time, mate.
Hey, that's what we wanted when we were kids.
Yeah. They were unreal.
Playing T-ball and under 12s. That's all you wanted.
Yeah.
Those bad boys.
Under 12s, hey, make us feel old.
Davo was in first grade.
Looking to retire.
I was called a veteran at 19, so yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know what that makes us now, 30 years later. But anyway.
Mate, you're a cricketer now. It doesn't matter what they call you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, who else won on the weekend? I know Perth beat Geelong on the Thursday night. The Cavs got beat 9-0. Adelaide Giants beat Melbourne Aces 8-5 on the Thursday.
They nearly swept Melbourne, I think, didn't they? I think they got at least 3 wins from Melbourne.
I'm pretty sure they did, mate. Did you blokes see any of those Thursday night games?
Only the Cavs game. I watched the Cavs.
Yeah.
But that was it.
Let me switch over to Friday. Geelong beat Perth Heat 6-3. Auckland 2-1 over Blue Sox. Yes, that was a doubleheader, was it? They only played 7 innings, or was that a time thing?
Time, I think you'll find.
Yeah, right. That's brutal, isn't it?
Or it might have been weather.
Okay.
There was a weather game in there somewhere.
Yeah, that was a Sunday, I think, mate.
Yeah. Okay.
Brisbane Bandits 1-0 over the Cavs and the Giants.
4-3. That game was 4-3.
Oh, sorry, 4-3. Yeah, 4-3.
That was the one that went 11 innings. That was an absolute cracker of a game.
Yeah. 4-3. And Adelaide Giants 7-4 on the Friday. Don't know if you've seen any of the other games throughout the weekend. I only sort of watched a bit of the Cavs and Brisbane game.
Yeah, unfortunately, I watched both the Cavs games on Saturday.
Yeah,
they were brutal again.
Any standout performances, mate?
Well, the first game of the doubleheader, Brisbane scored 11 runs in the bottom of the first.
Wow.
So it definitely wasn't Pfeiffer.
Yes.
On the mound for Cavs.
Wow.
And then the next game was 12-0 to Brisbane as well. So, yeah, Tim Atherton through that game, he threw pretty well.
Yep. Yeah. So the other games on the Saturday, Blue Sox won 6-1 over Auckland, and Auckland beat them 4-2 in the second game. And yeah, as you said, the Cavs 15-7 and then 12-0. And then Perth Heat 7-0 over Geelong and 3-2 Adelaide Giants over Melbourne Aces. Sunday there was a washout for Blue Sox, I believe. And Perth Heat 12-8 over Geelong and Adelaide Giants 4-0 over Melbourne. So yeah, there was plenty of baseball on over the weekend. I know with the standings, Perth Heat and Adelaide are at the top with 7 and 5 for the Southwest Division. And then the Bandits are 10 and 2. And Auckland now jump into second. They're 6 and 5. So that's a pretty big one for Auckland to jump up there in front of the Cavs. Now the Cavs jumped out, won 4 games on their first weekend, and they're 5 and 7. So you got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Geelong Korea this weekend though, so
Yeah,
they're only 4 and 7. So hopefully they can pick it up a bit.
yeah, mate. While we're talking about the baseball, Brisbane Bandits home ground, Holloway Park, or I think that's what it's called, Holloway Stadium. It is an absolute awesome setup. I hadn't been there before. Got the wood-fired pizzas there. They got burgers, beers. They got plenty of different merchandise available, different beer coasters and beer cups and all sorts of things. It was a really good atmosphere. The Outlaws, as I mentioned before, giving it the boss, they kept the crowd entertained the whole way through. Like, sat there for the first couple of innings and thinking these blokes aren't going to sing that whole time, and they did. Remind me a little bit of the old Toronto Tigers days with Jason Leonard and Tiddles on the hill there, 200 beers deep, and giving it to everybody. It was just a really good atmosphere, and I had a really good night there. Shame the Cavs didn't come through. But also want to give a shout out there to the GM Brisbane, Ryan Searle. Mate, thanks for taking me for a bit of a tour in there, and it was good to catch up. Anything else for the ABL fellas? Did you catch anything else on the weekend there? Yeah,
Not me.
I know you're watching a bit of cricket there, Davo.
Yeah, haven't caught much of the ABL so far, so a bit behind on that. I've seen some of the scores and little tidbits, but yeah, nothing of real content yet.
Yeah, no, it's been good. I've enjoyed it, and
Yeah, I've pretty much only watched the Cavalry games. That's it.
yeah,
Sort of bit harder when they're all sort of on at that same sort of time.
yeah. Watched a little bit of Adelaide Giants recently, but
it's not work time. It's not work time, so it's not so easy to watch. You know,
can't have the full screens up, Randall.
Pretty much.
Righto, Dave. Do you want to jump into the cricket? Have you got anything there for us?
Actually, no. The first test started today for over in Perth with the Windies out here, a rather inexperienced Windies team. So I think that's sort of showing through at the end of day one. We're 2 for 293. So Labuschagne, he's not out 150, 150 odd. Smith's with him. He's in his 50s now. So the Windies took the new ball with about 8 overs to go there tonight. Did nothing with it. So I feel it could be a long day for them in the field tomorrow. The pitch is supposed to get a bit quicker, which should help them. But Australia could be 400 or 500 by the time it does, and then we go out to field. So not sure if we'll see this going for full 5 days. But it's good to see Test match back, especially at Perth, because it finishes at 9 o'clock. So got something to watch after dinner. The Adelaide Strikers came through and won the WBBL. Bit of an upset there to knock off Sydney. Only chasing 147. So Sydney bowled pretty well, just couldn't come through the bat. So well done to the Strikers for winning the WBBL. And the men's BBL kicks off 2 weeks. So the 13th of December. So we get a bit of test match cricket in between, and then the Big Bash. So it's just nice to see the red ball game back and 5-day cricket. Call us, I'm traditionalist, can sit there and watch all 5 days. I love it. So hopefully catch some more of it tomorrow. But that's sort of where we're at with the cricket stage at the moment.
How about the kids, mate? Do they enjoy watching the test as well?
Starting to. They won't watch a whole day, but if it's on, they'll come and go and sort of sit with us. So when we got home tonight, I've been at training for a few hours and then sat down and watched the last few overs. So it's good. So I'm bringing them around. The wife will watch as well. So it's good. She's always watched sport with us, whether it's baseball or cricket or footy or whatever. So I'm very lucky there that she'll watch the sport with us. But yeah, the cricket's getting a good run in the house at the moment. So
Nice.
back on the big screen, not tucked away out in the front room on the small TV. So loving it.
Even better on the big screen.
The best thing is, though, the next test is Adelaide day-night test too. So you get it all night again.
Yeah.
How good is it?
It's all right if you're not at work, Randall.
Yeah, well, mate,
or is
I'm
it the
not at
other
work
way?
every night.
Yeah. No, it
Beautiful.
works for us. Be interested to see how the Windies go with the pink ball. Like I know Stark comes into his own there, and even like Hazelwood's always by a line of length. So hopefully the Windies can get something from it, like make it a contest. But from what we saw today, and some of their even their field placements, like they stack the leg side and then bowl 2-3 feet outside off stump. So quite strange. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully they can remain competitive.
How does that pink ball go? Does it swing around a bit more or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slightly different lacquer, I think, so it stays shinier, and just a little bit of the night air will just make the ball sort of move through the air better at night. So I know for a fact, like the girls use a pink ball with their cricket, and it's a little bit lighter than a normal cricket ball. But mate, this thing it swings, it moves, it can move about 2 feet. Like you get someone with a good action. One of the girls in the under 17s Ella played in on Friday night had the ball moving. She ended up 5 for 6 or 4 overs with a hat trick. She just had the arm at the right angle. The breeze was working, and the outswingers, and they just couldn't hit it. So yeah, it just I think it is the lacquer on it just allows for more swing.
reminds me a bit of
Yeah,
the old days with a taped up tennis ball.
Yeah,
Only
taped up
tape
half.
half side,
Yep.
halfway, and big seam on it.
that's it. Or the KFC Swing King. When they were out, I used to go and buy buckets of chicken just so I could get one. Throw the chicken out. There was the medium pacer that bowled for the West Indies today too. He had the ball hooping around a bit, so it'll be good to see him too.
Mm. Yeah, they've
Just
got that young guy coming through. I can't remember his name. It starts with A, I think. But yeah, he's sort of like the next batch. He did well at sort of under 18s for the West Indies. And apparently he can, once he gets going, can get the pace up there. So yeah, hopefully he'll do well.
Nice.
And Chanderpaul's young bloke got his debut cap today
Yes.
too.
Yeah,
He's in it.
it's nice and another Chanderpaul there. It's like you do a double take. When I turned it on, it's like Chanderpaul fielding in close. Oh, hang on a minute. So that got the old stats working out. It's like how many father sons have sort of been out there, sort of playing, which is not. There's a few, but not a great deal. But yeah, it was good to see him get a start.
There hasn't been many, you say, with the father son. I can't think of any others.
Well, it's, Mitchell and Sean. So like they're from like the Australians. A couple of Pommy guys have done it as well. So, but yeah, we're trying to think of I don't even think went into double figures for sort of how many there's been internationally.
Righto. Fair enough. Randall, NFL. Tell me about your
NFL.
Ravens.
Do I have to? Do I have to sit here and cry some more?
Don't have to if you don't want to.
It was a big weekend actually with the NFL. What do we got? The Dolphins beat the Texans, so they still hold on to first place in the AFC East. With the Bucks, they're with the Bills, mind you. So yeah, so the
Bucks or
Dolphins and the
Bills,
Bills.
mate? Come on, what is it?
Oh mate, can't tell.
Got the wrong glasses on.
I need yours, Hudson.
Yeah, mate.
Oh yeah, the Dolphins and the Bills are now tied first in the AFC East, with the Dolphins beating the Texans. The Bills also beat the Lions, and that was a pretty close game, 28-25. The Jets beat the Bears. The Vikings 33 over Patriots 26. They're now Vikings are now 9-2, going strong still. Cowboys defeated the Giants, so they're now 8-3, and they stay 2 games behind Philly. So they're trying to keep tag with those guys. Philly beat the Packers 40-33. So they're 10-1 now. So they're
What
killing
about
it.
those Packers, mate? Are we going to
Oh,
see?
Rogers is gone, I think, isn't he?
Are we going to see the other quarterback get a run? You know, what's his name? They got that big rookie in the
In the
the
draft.
draft. I'm trying to think of his name. Are we going to see him actually play? You reckon, being that far
Probably.
behind? You got to bleed him in, don't they?
Yeah, but Rogers left the field injured, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He come off hurt, so I didn't actually hear what's come of that, whether it's serious or not. But he didn't take any more part in the game. So why not? Why not do it now if they're that far
Jordan Love.
behind?
Jordan Love's his name.
Yeah. So they might as well give him a run.
Oh, they have to.
What's it going to hurt?
Yeah.
Well, he's
Yeah.
a free agent at the end of the year, and I'm sure they're not going to probably take him.
Nah, you wouldn't think so, would you?
Probably gone.
Yeah, probably, yeah. We got the Cowboys defeated the Giants. Yeah, that was to keep them in line with Phillies. So Phillies are still busting away, 10-1, but the Cowboys are trying to hang with them. They're only two games behind them. The Broncos were defeated by the Panthers, 23-10. The Bucks, they hold on to first place in the NFC South despite a loss to the Browns, which is a bit of a surprise, 23-17. The Bengals, they move into equal first place in AFC North after they beat the Titans. And poor old Ravens, they're equal first with them. Yeah, they
Brutal.
blew another fourth quarter. Fourth quarter lead, and they've blown it again to get beat 28-27. So there was an attempt at a field goal from some ridiculous distance,
67 yards.
67,
Yeah.
and he probably pulled up five short, four
Was
short or
on
something,
was online, just
a
short.
little bit short. That would have been a big deal, but it was an absolutely meant nothing.
Big kick.
Washington, the old Redskins. I mean, Commanders. I mean, Redskins. Whatever I'm allowed to call them, Davo.
Guardians.
Whoever they are.
Washington
Washington football team.
the
Yeah.
Washington football team.
That's what they were last year, weren't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
They had a win over the Falcons. Chargers got up over the Cards 25-24. That was a closey. I didn't see any of that game. On to Hutto, Kansas
Yeah, buddy.
City 26 over the Rams 10. They needed that. It keeps them forging along. Moves them now to 9-2 as well. So they were flying a little bit under the radar, but not no more.
They're
They're
second in line in betting for the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. The Bills are short priced, then the Chiefs, and then the Eagles. So
What about the Dolphins? I'm right up there with the Dolphins at the moment.
Yep.
Tua to
I agree.
Tyreek Hill over and over and over and over again.
He just got his rookie card.
Yeah, I do. I've got both their rookie cards actually. Tyreek Hill. Mate, I watched the top 5 plays, Randall, of the top speeds of the running backs, and it was like the ridiculous speeds that they get so quickly.
Oh,
Like 21, 22 miles per hour they're running. They're
yeah.
like, what?
Yeah. That just that burst, isn't it? Like that explosive power is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Who else we got here? San Fran. 49ers, they got up 13-0 over New Orleans. So they're outright first in the NFC West. They're now 7-4. So they're not winning as many games as some of these other teams, but I guess
still best defensive record in the whole NFL. That's who I've actually backed at $17. I got them at $17 to win the
$17.
Super Bowl. So they're in
Yeah,
the
right.
$6 now, I think, or $7. So
Wow.
hopefully they keep going.
Yep. And then you have the upset of the week. The old Las Vegas Raiders beating the Seahawks 40-34. What killed them?
Great
Because of those
Sorry,
defensive
ticket
game.
sorry,
prices,
Seattle.
mate. Those ticket prices you talked about the other week. You're saying how they couldn't win, and
Yeah.
look what
Well,
they
they've
do
now got a two game win streak. So come on, get on the Raiders.
at 4 million.
Yeah.
4 million to 1. But yeah, Seahawks, they can't do anything at the moment. They can't win a trick, can they?
No,
If
they
you can't
can't.
beat the house in Las Vegas, you're in trouble.
This
But
is true.
interesting little thing that we spoke about before too. I think it was the AFC East and the NFC East. Every team have a winning record. They're all over 500. So every team in those divisions, in those leagues. So interesting to see where that all goes.
Yeah.
When I don't know how much interleague play they've had or interdivision play they've had, but yeah, they've all got some bloody good records.
Yeah, we'll see how that pans out for the rest of the year.
Did anyone else catch any of it over the weekend?
Nah.
No.
I saw some of the Steelers game, and
Yep.
their new young quarterback seems to be coming into his own. Bucket, I think. He seemed to find a bit of rhythm. So hopefully that's something turning around for that organisation. But they played pretty well against the Colts.
Yep.
So that was a seesawing game, but then they just ran away with it at the end, I think. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Tom Brady had a loss.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that.
I bet you were.
Gonna jump over here to the NBL, fellas. The New Zealand, what are they? They're the Breakers, aren't they? New Zealand Breakers. Anyway, they're on top, 13, 10 wins from 13. They did have a loss, but they're still on top of the table. Sydney Kings second, Cairns in third, Southeast Melbourne in fourth, the Tasmanian Jack Jumpers, and then Adelaide round out the top six there. Poor old Illawarra down the bottom there with 1 win and 10 losses. It's going to be a long year for them. Do you blokes see any highlights of the golf on the weekend? No.
yeah, saw a bit of Cam Smith. I saw the pro-am Cam Smith playing with Cam Smith.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see he come back home and did it easy. And then the highlights, I don't know if you've seen the highlights. He was at the pub that night, and they showed the replay of the golf. And when he sunk the final putt, it's sort of like a cheer, and they look around in the pub, and there he is standing there with the trophy in the pub. So it's gold. It's like typical Australian. It was good to see. But yeah, he's playing some good golf at the moment.
He is. Did he finish it off with a shoey or something like that there at the pub?
I don't know. They didn't show it, but yeah, I'm sure he probably did know him. But the course looked in good nick, so it looked yeah, good tournament.
Yeah,
I did see Jonathan Thurston drinking a beer out of his trophy.
nice.
That was floating around on the socials somewhere.
One of the dance dads up there, he had the golf on constantly with his phone and around watching the golf. He was loving it, giving me updates all the time. Yes, obviously Cam Smith won it, 14 under. The next closest was 11 under, and there was two tied at 11 under. And then, yeah, we're right through. It was good to see Cam Smith get up, being the non-live tournament was the PGA. So what's the go with that? Can they just jump across and play PGA as well as live? Or I know in America they can't, can they?
It depends on the governing body and whether they allow it or not.
Yeah.
So I think the Australian PGA is different to the US PGA.
Yeah.
US PGA has said, "No, get nicked. You one or the other." but I think the Australian PGA's had some common sense and just want to see the best
Yeah.
golfers around, and it showed. It had a good crowd there, so they're letting some of the live golfers do what they want and play. It's best for golf. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's up to the individual tournament, and it's up to the individual PGAs who they let play.
Yeah.
So I think England's a bit different as well. So yeah, each to their own.
Yeah, I think it's good. As you said, it's the best of the best. You want to, if you're going to go and watch the golf, you want to see the best play. No point Randall going up there for a hit against anyone, really.
Yeah,
I'd kill someone up there, mate. The crowd's too close to the fairway.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Cam Smith knew how to play on a Sunday, because most live golf tournaments are only 3 rounds.
Yeah. Brutal. I heard they were gonna match it though. Well, they were gonna. From what I heard, they were gonna come back there 3 days as well. That's what
Yeah,
I heard.
wasn't sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, what else have we got, fellas? Anything else? What have I got notes for? Well, that was about it for me.
Soccer World Cup.
Oh, how could I forget that?
Yeah, we're pushing into the final 16. So
Yep.
I know the Netherlands and Senegal are both through in Group A. Group B, England and the USA have both gone through. USA got a 1-0 win over Iran, I think, this morning.
Yep.
Or today, which got them through, which was a bit of they probably weren't expected to jump through.
It's awesome.
It was really good. Group C, don't really know who's going to go through here. Depends on what happens. So you've got Poland versus Argentina tomorrow.
Should be a pretty good game.
Poland's on 4 points. Argentina's on 3 points. And then you've got Saudi Arabia versus Mexico, and Saudi Arabia's also on 3 points. Mexico's only got the one. So if Poland beat Argentina and Saudi Arabia get through, Argentina are Gornsky.
Jeez, they won't want to go home.
No.
Actually, in saying that, Saudi Arabia only need a draw. They're on the same amount of points as Argentina. So if Argentina lose and Saudi Arabia get a draw, they'll go through and Argentina will be out of here. So that could be a massive upset. Then you've got Group D, France, they're through. They've already won 2 games. And then you've got Australia versus Denmark. I think it's 2 a.m. or something in the morning.
2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 o'clock tomorrow morning.
I won't be up for that one. Australia need a draw, minimum of a draw, and they'll go through. So that's exciting times for Australia. Did any of you guys catch any of the games last week?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of last week's game where they won 1-0. That was a quality game.
Yeah, it was a nerve-wracking second half. Just waiting for Tunisia to score. That whole second half was just But just felt like, when are they going to score? Not will they score, it was when are they going to score?
Yeah.
Matty Ryan did a good job keeping a clean sheet back there. So
he was tidy in the keep.
He stepped up and was real good in that second half.
And both the backs too, like the guys at the back, they were good. They were strong at the back. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
That sliding tackle was at about the 80th minute. He's come out of nowhere. They said that was like a turning point in a way. Like, that just energized the team, and such a clean tackle too.
Yes.
Like, I know they were blowing up, but no, that was ball first.
Ball. Yep.
And just showed the spirit and really got the guys going.
Yep. Yeah, it was a good game to watch. Group E as well this week. Spain versus Japan. Spain's on 4 points. Japan's on 3, and then Costa Rica versus Germany. Germany's gone. I don't think they can make it. They've only got 1 point. Costa Rica are on 3, so another one that could go anywhere. Who knows who's going to win that?
That's unreal.
Yeah, it is actually. Like, you probably think Spain would be, way ahead, but they're not. Everyone's sort of challenged each other.
But for Germany not to make it as well.
Yeah, Germany, they've had a draw.
Weight.
That's it. they've had one draw and a loss. I think Japan will be kicking themselves that they came out and they beat Germany, and then they had a loss to or a draw. Sorry, no, a loss to Costa Rica. So yeah, they'll be kicking themselves. They had a real shot to go straight through. Group F, again, same sort of thing. Croatia versus Belgium. Croatia's on 4 points, Belgium's on 3, and the other game is Canada versus Morocco. Canada's on the big duck egg. They're on the nudie run still around the pool table. And Morocco, they're on 4 points. So again, you would assume Morocco will go through, and it'll be out of Croatia and Belgium. So another real close one.
Yeah.
Then Group G, Brazil, they're on 6. They'll go through. And the other game will be Switzerland versus Serbia. And Switzerland are on 3, Serbia are on 1. So the winner will go through, basically. And if there's a draw, Switzerland will go through. Group H, again, Portugal are on 6. They'll go through. And then it'll be probably Ghana. They're on 3 points, and they're playing Uruguay, who are only on 1 point. So I'd say they'll go through too. And that'll get us through to the weekend.
Yeah.
And then they'll be in the top 16.
Good luck picking a winner out of all those.
Mate, it's what I'm impressed. I'm happy with it. It's so close that, you know, it makes for exciting games. Teams can't just sit back and defend and hope for a draw. Teams need to win.
Yeah.
Which is what I like to see, especially in soccer when, you know, there are a lot of draws.
42 pass backs to the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
I watched the Morocco game the other night. I think it was Belgium. They played Belgium. Pretty sure.
Yep.
That was a good game. Enjoyed watching that. I don't watch a lot of soccer, so yeah, it was good.
I don't either, mate. Only sort of World Cup. It
Yep.
sparks my interest. It's usually a bit more free flowing than, you know, than other soccer. I'm not usually a huge fan.
Yep.
Being a more of a rugby league supporter, I like to see a lot more attack than defence.
Follow the wrong rugby league team for that then.
Yeah, well, they can't attack or defend the old Knights, so doesn't matter. See a lot of action, a lot of tries scored.
Seen them at the Knights headquarters today, mate. There was a few out there running.
I hope so.
Bit early for pre-season, isn't it?
No, mate. I think they had Mad Monday and started the next day, I think.
Yeah, they're pretty much all teams are back into it. Yeah, it's only players from the World Cup who are sort of having a little bit of a break, but yeah, all the other teams are sort of they're straight back into it.
Yeah, all the big boppers are out in a group running today, so
there's been a bit of movement actually in the old trade market for the lucky old Knights.
Yeah, I've seen that today.
Yeah, you're on the Tigers.
Clemmer's gone to Tigers, and Hastings has come.
I was about to say there was one more today, wasn't there?
Yeah, my brother
Randall,
Chris Randall. He's gone to the Titans, and they've got the that big wrecking ball. Can't think of what his name is from the Titans. But yeah, he'll be
mate.
Oh, mate, he's a big unit. That's all I know. It's going to be take a few blokes to stop him.
Yeah,
especially
nice.
out wide. So,
hey, what about any? Well, you're talking about trades. Anything happening in the MLB trades? I know we had DeGrom talk about. I know he turned down his Mets offer, and they're talking about the Rays and all sorts. The Cubs are looking at him. The Yankees. Who else? I haven't seen much in the last weekend, but yeah, you blokes caught any of those?
No, well, I think old JV was out in LA. He went and saw the Dodgers, and we know Judge was in San Fran. Abreu has already signed, so we know that. And even the Angels have made a few minor trades. They've got the Trout lookalike in Renfro.
Renfro.
Yeah, now playing for him. So, but there's been scuttlebutt, but nothing major.
The Angels picked up someone else too, didn't they? From
Sheller. Is it O'Shella from the Twins?
oh yeah, Gio Urshela. Yep, that
Yeah.
was it. That was right. Yeah, that's interesting with the Jose Abreu. Signing up. That's a big bat for the Astros.
Mm.
Yeah.
They had a stacked lineup to start with, and you
Well-
throw that bat in the middle, like probably lose Gurriel at first base and just replace him with Abreu.
Yeah, well, that puts out there, where does Gurriel go now?
Mm.
And then also they had picked up Trey Mancini. He's obviously, he didn't do anything really in the playoffs, but he's still a pretty bloody handy player that he's just going to go somewhere as well. Like they're both free agents, so yeah. I was honestly surprised when they announced they had signed Abreu. I thought Gurriel was their man. He's been there and done it for him for however many years now.
Yeah.
Mind you, he's not a young bloke either.
Either Abreu, really.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't read much else as to free agent signings or any trades. But I'm sure the winter meetings will be coming up soon, and they'll start ramping up then.
Yeah, they have one before Christmas, don't they? Around the 15th or something.
Yeah.
And then they have one just after Christmas. So interesting to see.
It'll blow up soon. It'll go nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's too many people out there this year. So
Some massive ones. So from what I read today with DeGrom, they reckon he's going to get 45 mil a year. That's massive dollars, isn't it? But
Well, I also did see the Padres. They've come out saying that they're chasing, that they want a shortstop.
yeah, right.
I don't know what's going on there. And they're saying, Bogarts was the bloke they're looking at. But
they traded away perfect shortstop prospect in Abrams. So it's
DJ
like,
Abrams, that's exactly right. And then you got Fernando. What? Obviously, he's got to get off the jab first. But once he comes back from his drug ban,
When's he due back? Early in the season, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, I think it
it was a 60 game suspension or something.
Yeah.
So he'll be back real early.
Yeah.
But
He'll be
where-
massive
where
by then.
Where does he go? If
right field. Well,
Right.
still, is Sato free? Because or has he still got a year? No, Sato's a free agent now, isn't he? Or has he got one more year?
No, he's got one more year.
he's
Hasn't
got
he?
One more
another
year.
year,
Yeah, so there's your right fielder. So they can't even throw in the right field.
No.
he's probably not going to get a run in center field or left field, is he? Like, who have you got in center field at the moment? They've a little bit of Grisham, I suppose. They've played him a bit there.
Yeah, Crone.
No, he's a
Crone
second
mainly
base.
stayed at second base, but Profar.
Jurickson Profar was playing left field.
Yeah.
So, and they're just the ones straight off the top of your head too. Like, they've still got others.
Yeah, what do you do? Imagine being a manager and having that much money to throw around and just go, yeah, I'll have him.
Yeah, and the Oakland A's are sitting there going, 45 million for one player. Oh, that's about my payroll.
Yeah.
It's more than the Orioles payroll.
That's my whole 40 man.
And they're still paying Chris Davis.
And they're still paying Chris Davis. Ugh.
It's crazy.
Shows though, doesn't it? Crush the ball and have a couple of real big seasons, get a big payout, and do nothing. And they
How
just let
good's
you
that,
retire.
though? Imagine, what was it to 2037 or something? wasn't it?
37, yeah.
Yeah.
There's been plenty do it. Like, Albert Bell did the same, had a few monster years. And again, he was signed by Baltimore, I think. So, yeah, plenty of sluggers.
I suppose that's the only way they can get those sort of players, though. If they want to pay them big money instead of going, here's your $45 million a year, we'll give you your 37 million or whatever, your 35 million over 10 years.
Yeah.
They haven't got the bankroll to do it.
But how good's that? Imagine just getting paid. Like, he's finished his career and just he's out fishing.
Yeah, well, that's it. You're guaranteed.
Yeah.
You got a guaranteed $35 million for the next 10 over the next 10 years,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do fuck all.
Bobby
Like,
B. Bobby
Bobby B.
Bonilla.
That's the
That's it.
best.
$1 million every year. It's like, yeah, how great's this?
Yeah. That's
It
unreal.
doesn't matter, does it? Like, and it's like I'm happy here at this club. Who cares? No one else is going to sign me.
Yep.
Mm.
Righto, fellas. It's been a pleasure.
Still got half a dirty water to go.
Oh, spit out what
I,
you need to spit out.
I ran 2 tonight,
God, mate.
preempted.
Got a problem with the water over there. Your joint, mate. Just want to give a big shout out too to a friend of ours, Randall, Commonwealth powerlifting champion in the under 52 kilo division. And big shout out to Natalie Barlow. Come away with a
Nat.
win today. Yeah. You killed it. Good on you, mate.
Job, Nat. No stain, no
over
gain.
In NZ, hopefully she's on the beers right now. Mate, 52 kilos, Randall. You 2 poos bigger than that.
Would these days.
All right, fellas. Have a good week.
Will do, mate. Catch up with you later.
Talk to you soon.
Been a pleasure as always.